when the country girl became Mrs. Blackwood. The telegram arrived on a Tuesday, shattering Emma Lancaster's peaceful morning milking the cows. Your sister fled. You will take her place. The wedding is tomorrow. Mother. 24 hours later, Emma stood in a borrowed wedding dress 3 sizes too big, marrying a man she'd never met. Ashton Blackwood, billionaire CEO, Manhattan's most ruthless businessman, and, according to every tabloid, permanently confined to a wheelchair after a mysterious accident that killed his parents. Her mother's words still echoed. Your sister was supposed to save this family. Now it's your responsibility. The Lancasters were drowning in debt. The Blackwoods needed a bride to satisfy the late Mrs. Blackwood's dying wish. It was a transaction, nothing more. But Emma wasn't prepared for the man in the wheelchair. Ashton Blackwood was devastatingly handsome, sharp jawline, storm gray eyes that seemed to see straight through her floral sundress and dirt-stained boots. But those eyes held something darker, rage, pain, a warning that said, "Don't get close." "Let's be clear," he said coldly on their wedding night, not even looking at her. "This is a contract. Stay out of my way, play the dutiful wife in public, and you will want for nothing. Your family's debts are paid." Emma nodded, clutching her small suitcase. She'd expected nothing else. What she didn't expect was the scream that woke her at 2 a.m. She found Ashton on the floor of his room, having fallen from his wheelchair, his face twisted in agony. His assistant and doctor were out of town. The household staff stood frozen, afraid to touch him. But Emma had spent her life on a farm, dealing with injured animals and her grandfather's stroke recovery. She saw past the powerful CEO to a man in pain. "I've got you," she whispered, and helped him back up with a strength that surprised him. That night changed everything. Emma discovered his secret. Ashton's legs weren't paralyzed. They were damaged from the accident, but not beyond healing. He'd given up after a dozen failed surgeries, choosing his wheelchair as both shield and prison. She'd seen this before. Her grandfather had done the same thing. "You're scared," she said simply, "not broken." No one had ever spoken to Ashton Blackwood like that. Armed with her grandmother's herbal remedies, her own stubborn determination, and research that kept her up until dawn, she became his unwanted physical therapist. Every morning at 6 a.m., she'd wheel him to the private gym he never used. "I hate you," he growled during their first session. "That's fine. Move your leg anyway." The Ice King began to melt. Slowly, painfully, Ashton's legs responded. 10 degrees of movement became 20. Standing for 5 seconds became 30. Emma celebrated every victory with the same joy she showed when her tomatoes grew. Genuine, pure, unimpressed by his billions. She brought her country wisdom to his sterile penthouse. Home-cooked meals instead of catered dinners. Plants on every windowsill. Laughter in halls that had only heard angry business calls. His board members whispered, the staff gossiped. How could this simple country girl, always in jeans and ponytails, have captivated Ashton Blackwood? But Ashton knew exactly how. Emma saw him, not his money, not his power, not even his injuries. She argued with him about his ruthless business tactics. She made him laugh with stories about runaway chickens. She slept on his shoulder during movies, completely unaware of her own beauty. And the day he took his first unassisted steps in 2 years, she cried harder than he did. "Why do you care so much?" he whispered, standing on shaking legs, holding her face in his hands for the first time. "Because you deserve to walk. And because somewhere between your grumpy morning moods and that smile you try to hide, I fell in love with you. The kiss that followed made every tabloid in America. 6 months later, Ashton walked Emma down the beach at sunset. Their real wedding. No contracts, just love. Her sister showed up, wanting her rightful place as Mrs. Blackwood. Ashton didn't even glance at her. "I have everything I want," he said, pulling Emma close. "My wife, my legs, my heart, which I didn't know still worked until a farm girl in muddy boots showed me how to live again." Emma smiled against his chest. Those boots were vintage. His laugh echoed across the waves. Sometimes the best love stories start with the wrong bride. What happens when she discovers the accident that paralyzed him wasn't an accident at all? Coming soon.